Man, here we go on a Friday. Chances of possible thunderstorms in certain parts of the audience coming up here this afternoon. We'll, of course, be tracking all that if it starts coming through. That's why I'm here in the mothership, AJ. I thought I'd be in here and not risk any storms or power disruptions as we get the show cranked up here on this Friday. Lots in the news today, a lot of follow on stuff from things we've already had in the week. I got more on the burger bite stuff that's going on with the stupid restaurants. And of course, we got, Iran updates. What's going on with you, man?
All right, so I'm doing good. So I had to get a lot of stuff done.
Hold on, turn on your AJ cam so people can see your Run DMC glasses.
Yeah.
It's tricky to rock around too. I like them glasses. Look, I got some. Look, I got some. Too.
It's tricky.
We twins. We twinning. Okay, keep going.
Yeah, so the rain's supposed to be coming in this weekend.
Yep.
Obviously. Happy birthday to my son, Marshall, turning 5
I
tomorrow.
I can't believe Marshall's 5.
I know. So we're trying to get the house
cool.
ready for, his big I'm gonna have like some kids over to the house. So
Marshall throwdown.
Yeah. You know, I always feel kind of like, do I invite adults to a 5-year-old party if they don't have kids that age?
My son does this. At some age, the parents will just hang out
Mm-hmm.
because they don't stay long, and
Right.
you don't. If it depends on how you know the parents,
Yeah.
and they'll just kind of want to hang around and help with their own kid, so their kid doesn't kill somebody or stab somebody like in the jumpy house or whatever. But then the older they get, the parents are happy to dump them on you and go run errands and let you babysit. So I think you're about to that age where they'll just be dumping them at your house.
Oh gosh.
Yep.
Yeah. So trying to prepare for all that tomorrow, and then with the rain, kind of threw everything off. I had to cut my grass, had to take some stuff to the dump. So I had a very eventful morning. And then, you kind of teased the whole burger thing, right? And then so I decided, which I'm kind of regretting that I did this, because I haven't really eaten like that in a very long time. Like
I know
that.
it'll hit you like a bomb.
Man, I'm on the struggle bus, but I'm gonna make it through. I'm gonna make it through it. So I went to try that Arch burger.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
the actual originator of all this controversy.
Yes, I did.
And your verdict?
Not really much of a fan of it.
Does it taste any different than everything else?
No, the sauce is a little bit more of a mustard base than it is a Thousand Islands base. And I mean, look, hey, to each their own.
Wilty lettuce, too much beef. All that.
Well, now it did have a lot more meat than I was expected. But I mean, look, is it something that I think people should try? Yeah, go ahead and try it. But I'm just not. And also too, I'm not a mustard base fan.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah, so I'm just not. That's just not my cup of tea anyway. So, but I at least tried it, and
I figured out why Will, our friend the Chub Father, has not done one of these burger bite challenges.
Mm-hmm.
It just hit me because he was texting with me on the way in, and I didn't know he had lost. He's been tightening up his diet, changing up stuff, and he'd given up meat for Lent.
Yeah.
I didn't know this. So he can't do it unless he wants to fake it.
Right.
And
they'll be perfect.
Even if he did a fake burger with no meat in it, it still wouldn't look as fake as the McDonald's guy.
But he could do like that would be a great spoof since he is doing Lent and he's not eating meat. He can act like, let me try this burger. And then maybe he can get like a stunt double, right? That don't look nothing like him. To eat the burger, and it comes back to him, and he's like, "Ooh, see, look at this big bite right here."
Here, what about this? I got so many thoughts on this because it's been kind of the fun thing for the week with all the war and end times and everything else. What they should be doing, it just occurred to me when I saw like another guy got in on it today, like Freddy's. Every burger chain has their CEO out, and by the way, I've noticed all the CEOs of all the burger chains are white boys. I don't know why I noticed that. There's not a woman, there's not a brother. It's just a bunch of old white guys running the burger chains. That may explain a lot.
And they all kind of look the same.
And they all skinny. And they do. They look just alike. Like they were genetically produced at the Cyberdyne factory to be robotic and make hamburgers for us. And I'm now suspecting Bill Gates planted all of them.
See?
And we're really eating cockroaches. And I don't know what's going on.
See?
But what they should be doing is eating each other's hamburgers. In other words, the Burger King guy ought to be eating the Big Arts and trashing off on Burger King.
Yeah.
Like he should eat it, take a bite, and throw up, throw it at the camera. That'd be funny as all get out. Instead of them eating their own damn burgers, They should all be tasting the Big Arch.
Right, and
Does that make sense?
that makes a whole lot of sense because now there's one now I don't know if this is like a big chain. I think this I don't know where this burger joint is actually located at. It's like P Teddy's burger joint, and the CEO he was like really real. He was like, look. I guess this is what all CEOs are doing right now. We're supposed to be over here eating our own burgers and stuff, but I eat it every single day. But this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to put a challenge out here. I'm not even going to worry about me eating a burger. I want 10 people to go out here and do this, and I'll have lunch with you. I was like, I could respect that. You know,
Are you saying they could just challenge people to buy their own product, then they'll go sit down?
Yeah, like
that McDonald's guy would never do that. He's not going to eat with us plebeians. You saw that guy. He's not going to go sit down in an actual restaurant with actual customers, or he might call them clients,
right?
People that eat his hamburgers.
You know what that reminds me of? With who was the guy that was running for president? And he came here and he was like cheesy grits.
Oh, that was Mitt Romney.
Mitt Romney, yeah, right. It kind of reminds me of like Mitt Romney trying to be relatable,
trying to get down with the people.
So
we see it all the time.
You like the bee ball or the basket? You know, like yes, Michael Jordan is the bee's knees.
Or Hillary Clinton, like I keep hot sauce in my purse on the black radio show. Shut up, Hillary, you do not.
Well, I don't know where it's tied.
You might keep a taser for Bill in your purse, but no hot sauce.
Oh man, that's funny.
And then there's a video floating around today. We'll just stay with this for the opening segment for now. I'm kind of tired anyway. There's a video, and I can't tell. I mean, we're in the days of AI videos. I can't tell if it's legit or not, but it's supposedly an outtake or another video. They had done several of these. The CEO of McDonald's, Chris K, eating their products, and he was trying to eat the chicken sandwich, and he spit the thing out. Like he didn't spit it out, but he did the napkin move, you know, where he's like, and he wiped his mouth and broke in the napkin. And it looks like he just spit in a chunk, like he couldn't take it. Like he's like, you people are going to have to fire me. I'm not doing this. That's it. This is torture. Not eating our products. Crazy. That's the look he had.
Oh, gosh. Now, well, in this day and age, you don't know if that's real or not. But,
right.
But it's still funny.
It popped out everywhere, and I was like, now I saw the fake ones that are obviously he turns around and spits it in a trash can. But
right.
This one looked legit. Like they didn't, somebody leaked it or whatever. Like they didn't use that one. And now somebody said, you want to check this one out? Oh, gosh. All right. So we got things in the news. We got things. I'm going to give you all a full, whatever we know, the latest on Iran here in a minute. Some of the headlines real quickly is the White House just came out through the spokesperson and said that Iran's defense forces are officially ineffective. They have destroyed so much of their infrastructure that particularly the Navy it's not a fighting force anymore. And that's one of our objectives. And later I'll play you a soundbite. It can't be any more plain. You got all these people hand-wringing over another endless war. And the administration, when you lay out your objectives and you achieve them quickly, you're done making a case to stay in the war. And the Trump administration is not making any case that they want to stay involved with Iran, but we have these objectives that are our responsibility in this thing. And one is to destroy their Navy, destroy their missiles, and destroy their nuke program. All of that. When all that's gone, and all the people, I guess the Israelis are handling the people, but we're taking out their system so they can't be a threat. And then it's a jump ball. Then we should get out of the way and let it be a jump ball. And that'll be argued for a long time. The White House today saying it's only going to take 4 to 6 weeks total, and we're ahead of schedule. That now that they're almost declaring that the Navy in particular has been destroyed. They've got a few more boats running around. Yesterday we hit a drone carrier. It's like an aircraft carrier for drones. And while it's hard to shoot down those little cheap drones, it's just easier to take out the drone sites, the drone carriers, or the morons that know how to run the drone program. Take them out, then there's no drone program. Their capacity to build them and produce them, all that's being bombed into smithereens. Lebanon's now in the fight, not the country, but Israel's taking out Hezbollah. All of these Iran proxies have to go too. You can't leave them in place. Proxies, that's just a fancy word for saying sort of their agents, these terror organizations they have funded, built, set up, propped up, put into place all around Israel to do their fighting. Of course, we know Hamas is basically already destroyed. You've got the Houthis in Yemen and Hezbollah in Lebanon to the north of Israel. There are buildings on fire right now in Beirut, as they're also, I believe, I'm optimistic right now because it's going so well that Lebanon's going to be freed from this too. Lebanon, Hezbollah is there, but there's a Lebanese government. And again, Lebanon, another country with a long, proud history. They're scared of Hezbollah. And so, in some ways, Hezbollah becomes sort of the functional government, but they're not the actual government. So, the government is afraid to kick them out. And they run around like this loose military sponsored by Iran in the middle of Lebanon. And if that gets wiped out, the Lebanese people could get their country back. You look at, they used to call Beirut the Paris of the Middle East. There are old videos, just like the Iranian videos people have seen this week, of women, fashionable women, walking down their wide boulevards and all the shops and all the modern stuff they had. And Lebanon has kind of gone that way too. We've got some friends of the show that are Lebanese, and I think there's a lot of optimism and hope that Lebanon could be freed by this as well, and that'd be good for the whole region. Anyway, details on that. We got more headlines on the Iran situation too. Now, the president is meeting, I think, with all of his security officials, his all of his cabinet heads that are meeting, that are participating in this war effort, and a bunch of defense contractors because we're adjusting some things on the fly to be even more effective. And so there's some things in the works to make that happen. That all makes sense. I believe that meeting's already started. It's not. It doesn't have a live camera on it, but if it does, in a little while, if they decide to suddenly make that a live shot, we'll try to go to it or whatever. All right, so that'll get us kind of set up. We do have other things in the headlines too, and I've got a beef with public officials being on their own TV spots. I'll tell you about that in a minute. It just sort of struck me today, something here at home, and I'll be bringing that to you in just a little bit. I've got some ideas, and so do y'all. So bring what you want. We'll try to keep it a little bit loose on a Friday. If things develop, of course, we'll switch gears and go right to the breaking news. Southern Skies Dermatology bringing to the show to get us started today. Just had my visit there this week. It was relieving. I thought it was every 6 months, but I go once a year. It just seemed like it hadn't been that long since I was in there. So it was time for my yearly visit, and they had me in there, took the wife with me. Y'all need to do that too. Take somebody in your life you love. If you've been inspired based on any encouragement I give you every day to go ahead and get checked, take somebody you care about with you because people are stubborn, and this doesn't seem like a threat. Skin cancer is something we think we're going to wait till something shows up on us that looks ominous. It's like the devil has shown up on your forearm and like, oh, I should probably get that checked. Now, sometimes you can't even see these places, but they know what they're looking for. And it's the easiest exam in the world. You just kind of sit there and in some cases stand there and they look you all over and check you with their little fancy lights and they know what they're looking for. This because they're the trained experts that only do skin cancer. And so it was nice to go in. I even had with my mom's history and my own history of the way I used to get sunburned and how many times I've just been so exposed to suntans and all that over the years. And now I know how old I am. So I want to stay on top of it. And then I had this little spot to pop up kind of right over here inside my hairline. And I was like, what is that? She looked at it in 3 seconds and said, I got good news. You're just getting older. I was like, oh, okay. That's what it is. Is that good news, AJ? You're now growing things on your face like watermelons.
I mean, it's like good and bad because like good is like you're not dying, but then it's bad because like you're getting old.
That's that stage of life. Or like, what's the good news today? I didn't die in my sleep, so I'm still alive. And you take that deal. I know, but they really will. They're just the best, and they've got a new location coming open very soon. I'm not sure when they're going to have it all finished and everything outfitted and fully staffed, so they can give me the address. I can tell you where it is. I think they're afraid people will start rolling up because this audience keeps them busy. That's for sure. SouthernSkiesDermatology.com. SouthernSkiesDermatology.com. Back in a minute. It is 2:25 Leland Live. Y'all get on in here as we head on toward a Friday. Let me switch back to the Iranian situation real quick and give you a couple other updates. You've got this guy that's been on trial this week. We had heard about this right around the time of the Butler assassination attempt on Trump, but this 47-year-old Pakistani that was arrested one day before Butler, and he even claimed back then that he was paid by the Iranians to kill Trump. His name is Asif Merchant, and he was arrested just one day before Trump was actually shot, which called into question immediately whether or not this little dweeby kid may have been part of the whole plot too. That maybe somebody had worked with him. I suspect a lot of things in that incident, but that news out there today in the midst of everything else that's going on. A lot of people just are ignorant of the history of this rogue country and their government. But meantime, Caroline Levitt, I think I sent you this one, AJ, is out. She did an outdoor news conference. I think it's because the president is taking up with a bunch of cabinet officials right now on the inside. So she did what we call a press gaggle outside. And I had this to say about the timeline on the mission itself, on this epic fury. Take a listen.
I won't get ahead of the president on broadcasting any timelines. What I will tell you is what President Trump has already laid out, which is that the achievable objectives of Operation Epic Fury we expect to last about 4 to 6 weeks, and we are well on our way to achieving those objectives. Annihilating Iran's navy, we know that we've sunk more than 30 Iranian vessels and ships. Their navy has now been deemed combat ineffective. Taking out the ballistic missile threat that Iran posed to the United States and our troops and bases in the region, we have done a tremendous job. The United States military has done a tremendous job at achieving that objective thus far. Just 6 days in, the retaliatory ballistic missile strikes from Iran are now down 90%. Of course, ensuring Iran can never obtain a nuclear weapon as well, and significantly weakening their proxies in the region, which we know are responsible for the deaths of Americans. And we've seen Hezbollah and the Houthis hardly putting up a fight over the course of the last 6 days. Ultimately, the president has made it very clear he wants to take out the threat of Iran to the United States, and Operation Epic Fury is well on its way to doing that.
So there's that, and in addition to that, and I could say so much and expand on that too. It's pretty clear if the administration has been this clear about the three main objectives. Some say there are actually four, but regime change is not one, nation building is not one, endless war is not one. They're giving general timeframes, and here's why you do that. You don't want to make the Iranians think that you've committed to a small time frame, and then they'll use that to try to stretch the clock out and then reassert themselves in some 4 to 6 week time frame. Trump's smart enough because he was a negotiator, not a politician when he got in office, is you don't put artificial restrictions on yourself when you're in the middle of something like this. You don't take troops on the ground off the table. You don't put artificial timelines on it. You give maybe a range just because of the curious questions. But the thing they've done the most clearly, and I think it's the most effective, is they've got three of the main objectives. One's almost already been fulfilled. They specifically said we're going to completely destroy their Navy. Their Navy is the ability to project violence toward their neighbors in the region. Secondly, we're going to destroy their missile capability. That's being done every hour that we're on the air and every hour that we're asleep. Those missile launchers are being taken out. We're doing it from space, man. People made fun of Reagan 40 years ago when he talked about space-based systems. They made fun of Trump when he started Space Force. Guess what's happening? Space Force is detecting these launch sites from space with our satellite capability using laser detection, and we're on those sites within seconds or minutes, and they're gone. And that's more effective than trying to take out the actual missiles after they've been launched. You see what I mean? Shooting a missile that's been launched down one at a time is effective, and it's a defensive move. The offensive move is to go take all the launchers out, take their ability to launch those missiles and produce those missiles, and all that's being attacked right now. So that was the second objective. The third objective, just like when we went and bombed Fordham, is to take away all their all of their nuclear infrastructure, and that's the R&D labs, the scientists, the production facilities, the underground labs. All that's being done, and those boxes are being checked. And when they're checked, we're out. That's our role. We're not trying to go in there and reconstitute a country that's been around for 2,500 years, their people know how to do that themselves. We'll talk more about this and anything else. Take your phone calls on the other side, 545 9950 Leland Live. All right, it's 2:34, Leland Live, Talk 99.5. Huey Town Pond, man. Tommy reached out yesterday and gave me the he gave me the green light, and I told you all about this yesterday. The law enforcement locks hit the ground this week. They're in the store. He's got them priced. Let me give you some details. First, let me explain what I mean with law enforcement Glocks. A lot of law enforcement agencies will have contracts where they'll buy a sort of an allotment of guns. And at some point, there's a program where they turn those in and get updated weapons. Some of those weapons have never been fired. Some have been fired on the training range, but not been used, obviously. And they're in really good shape. They've been carried by professionals and not left in somebody's glove box like you get sometimes with pre-owned weapons. And so there's just a whole program that Tommy gets involved in where he'll go and just buy a whole batch of these things and get them back here to Birmingham, put good prices on them, and get them out the door. They're $3.99, and they come in three calibers. They got the 9mm, the 40, and the 45. So if you want one of these law enforcement Glocks, y'all reach out to Tommy at Hueytown Pawn. They're on the ground in the shop now. A couple of the G-Force AR-12 shotguns, which are really cool looking guns, $279. Can't beat that price. Just some, if nothing, they're fun to have in your gun collection. But go see those, and then everything else in the store. I know hunting seasons, at least the deer hunting part of it is past us, but they've got plenty of hunting stuff, rifles, scopes, even tripods for the stand, all the things you would want in accessories, sound suppression. Still a whole vault full of those as we get into 2026. It's a legit gun store, in addition to having the pawn license, and so that means they've got a little side selection of pre-owned stuff too. So go and see them, get to know Tommy. Once you get to know them, it's like you got friends in the gun business that are very, very resourceful, and from time to time have these really cool deals on these, especially these law enforcement Glocks. Y'all, it is Hueytown Pawn, Brook Lane Drive, Hueytown Pawn. Okay, let me see. I was going to go through. Let me get off on a completely different subject. So yesterday, among the many reasons, they cut Kristi Noem loose, and I've been listening to the fallout from that today. There are the personal allegations, which very much could have played into it too. But in Washington, are you kidding? The whole town's rife with that stuff. And then you've got some tension between cabinet members, other cabinet members, but it was that ad in a moment in the hearing where Senator Kennedy got in her kitchen, a Republican, by the way, and asked her if Trump authorized her to go spend $250 million on an ad campaign featuring herself, all lit and pretty with her horse. AJ, we saw the backside of the horse too. She was all about the horse in front of Mount Rushmore. Now, y'all heard my take on it yesterday. The biggest problems with that ad, that's a lot of money. But aside from that, by the way, you remember when like Larry Langford wanted to build a dome stadium in Birmingham for $100 million? The federal government just spent double that on a TV ad. I mean, just try to put things in perspective. We've gotten where we throw around 100 million, 200 million like it's monopoly money. Oh, that's only $1 billion. They're now building $2 billion stadiums all over the country. But this woman authorized the ad, put herself in the ad. The worst part is gave the contract to do this to a business that didn't exist 11 days before they gave the contract to do this. And as Senator Kennedy said today, I heard him talking on various interviews. She didn't go to ZipRecruiter and find that ad agency. She cut this deal. Somebody set that up. They had to know to set up a organization was about to get a windfall from the government. So that, to me, the corruption angle is there, and that's what the investigators need to look into. But the inappropriateness angle is that these politicians, and I remembered the ads that she did back while she was governor of the state of South Dakota. And y'all know I love that state. I think it's a great state, great people out there. And she was a good governor. But she did these ads recruiting. They needed to hire people. A lot of people, they had sort of a hiring deficit for trained people like dental hygienists and welders and electricians. So the state wanted to recruit people to move to South Dakota. So they put the governor in the ad inviting people to do that. Now I could see that maybe, but the ads were silly. They were a little bit campy, and it was totally promoting her and giving her a national profile. And I believe that was the sort of the alternate agenda for Kristi Noem. Y'all follow me here because I'm about to come home to Alabama with this story. So here's Kristi in her ads pretending to go to the dentist. Remember, AJ, she's laying there in the dental chair.
I thought she was the dentist, or
maybe she was the dentist. She was working on somebody. Like they didn't have enough dentists, and she had to fill in. It was It was gimmicky, but it was way more creative than this Homeland Security ad. The point is, there's a pattern here. In both of her high profile capacities, she has managed to find ways to spend taxpayer money on ads featuring herself. Now, she didn't invent this. This has gone on for a long time. It's funny because I did a story on this, not TV ads. Hold on, I'll get to that later. That just popped in my mind. I did a story taking on our former governor, Jim Folsom, for self promotion. But at some point, I do think sincerely, we need to have a national conversation and a state conversation about public officials promoting themselves with our money. Let me give you another example. It surprised me today. Hey, Jay, I'm always on the computer in the morning, scraping up news, putting stuff in my head for the show. And I got a little squirreled looking for some tractor parts. It's a long story. I got a project going on. I need something to clear some heavy brush. I'm thinking about buying an attachment. So I'm doing my homework, trying to look up this thing and figure out how it works and what's the best one for me and get prices. And I'm doing some research. And up pops an ad from the superintendent of education in Alabama, this Eric Mackey guy. Y'all know him. He's kind of country sounding. Now, I think he's doing a decent job. Our schools are still an embarrassment. Mississippi is running off and leaving us. He's just another one of these educators that are maintaining the system and making improvements here and there. It's just public education's a mess right now. And so I don't know him, and it's not really a personal shot at him, but it's Eric Mackey on the spot talking about how much he loves education. Like, who the hell paid for that? I think they just gave him a huge raise, which was of some controversy. And that always happens too. But why did he have to be in the spot? So in other words, it's how dissimilar is it that you got the superintendent of education authorizing funding? I guess he authorized it. Maybe KI authorized it. Superintendent of Education authorizing a spot, making him the feature of an ad. Now, they did show some kids, and I didn't go back and find the ad. Maybe I should dissect it a little bit better. It just blew past me, and I went, what? I mean, I had the Christy Nome thing in my head already, and I was a little sensitive about it. So I saw this dude in the ad, and it's his voice the whole time, and he's talking about how much he loves going in. I love going in our schools and seeing our children. And that's a terrible impersonation, but there he is. And here at the Department of Education, we love our children, and he's doing his thing. And they showing little diverse images of little kids. And something occurred to me while I'm watching. I thought, those are stock. That's stock video. I don't think those they may have taken the camera around and got little pieces of paper signed by the parents of these kids that your kid can be on camera for the spot, and spend all that money to go to schools and make sure they get plenty of shots of these sweet little kids and pretty little kids. But I bet those were stock photos too.
Probably.
The only Alabamian in that whole spot was probably the superintendent. Now, somebody can go figure that out, because y'all have been in that business. I've produced these kind of ads before, not necessarily government official ads. So there's got to be an ethical line somewhere, and I think we've got a lot of legislators that listen to the show. The reason my stream of consciousness also hit because of a caller yesterday sort of chastising whether or not Katie Britt would pull a Richard Shelby routine and start getting buildings named after herself by getting funding through the government. And that's always been a beef with me, and I used to criticize Shelby for this. I believe, and hear me out, that on both the federal level and the state level, there should be some kind of restriction or law or regulation or whatever that you can't do any of that stuff. You cannot use taxpayer money to promote your personal image, even in an official capacity, except for presidents are different. And honestly, I'm willing to give a pass to a governor. When governors are governors, they're the face of the state. They're the top recruiter of the state. Sometimes those guys are going to be in the public eye. It's the governor's a different role. But for these guys to approve their own PR and hire the firm. Now, Alabama has some strict bid laws, and I was actually part of a committee at one time that decided on which public relations firm was going to get our state tourism dollars. We had a little committee of us. It was the tourism director. I was in the film office. I can't remember who the other guy was in the room. There were three of us that interviewed all the big ad agencies here around Alabama, and some of those are gone now. And they came and gave their pitches, and it was fascinating. They're different approaches, and that's the way to do it. We picked the one that we legitimately thought was best and had no relations with any of them. And I thought it was a pretty clean process. But sometimes these things, like what Christy Nome did, again, having been in that business of that side of production, is totally corrupt as hell. And even when it's not corrupt, let's just say the Mackey ad was legitimately bid out to whichever firm has our state contract to do public relations for the state or the department. All of these, think about this. Let me throw this into. Why does a monopoly have to have a PR firm? That's a whole nother can of worms. Why does the state the state education system doesn't have another state education system they're repeating with? What are they doing? The kids have to go to school. The parents have to pay the taxes.
Mm-hmm.
There's no competition other than the private sector, and maybe they're trying to keep up because of the charter school thing and the all that. But why should they use our money? Anyway, there's so many reasons I could go into this. And listen, this is going to burn some friends of mine. I got friends that make money doing this for a living, but I don't care. The Birmingham Waterworks just got caught with these huge PR firms. They're a freaking monopoly. They're the only people with the pipes. They're not called Birmingham Water anymore. It's like Central Alabama Water. So they're trying to clean up all the corruption over there. But all it was just hiring your junk PR flunkies and giving everybody business so they'll have business. And you don't need to do PR. AJ, I got a Birmingham water pipe running past my house. I'm tied onto it.
Mm-hmm.
What good is it if I feel good about them? They send me some ad making me feel good about them. Who gives a damn? If my water's either on or it's off.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're getting out of hand with some of this stuff. But the main thing is these, I don't know what you would call it or how to structure it. I just had this stream of consciousness today, seeing that Mackey ad. I thought, well, how different is it what he did and what Christy Nome did? And people do it all over the country.
Did his ad cost $143 million?
I don't know. It was digital, so maybe it's just a digital ad, and that's a little bit cheaper, but
yeah,
slowly not. But where are they running this? What is the purpose of it? To have our superintendent talking to us about our children. They either can read or they can't. I don't know if the ad's going to change that. You got some derelict mama out there that doesn't even know what their kid's homework is. It's like their kids inherited their genetics, which means the kid's probably stupid anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just being cynical. Mom doesn't care. She's over there watching her shows. She's flipping through Instagram. She ain't got time to tell the kid to go read a book. And then she sees an Eric Mackey ad and goes, you know what, baby? I like that Eric Mackey. Maybe you should do your homework. We're gonna get you to school on time tomorrow.
Right.
You should work on your test scores. Why? Because I feel good. I got warm and fuzzy because of Eric Mackey.
Right. He told me that you learned something today.
He said that all these children in our schools are special. So I believe that you should go get some rest, and we'll get you up in the morning. We're going to get you to school on time.
Now, do you mean like special or special?
Do we even say that anymore?
Because you got to clarify that.
Y'all, I grew up in the 80s, man. We had gifted classes and we had slow classes. And as I saw somewhere the other day, the sad thing about the internet is it took all the gifted kids and all the slow kids and put them in the same place as adults. And now they all fighting with each other. We didn't separate them at all. Good Lord. All right, do y'all feel where I'm coming from? Somebody pick up that ball and run. Just make it. It's a shame you have to make a law and make it illegal, but they shouldn't be able to authorize spending for their own vanity. And that's all it is. I don't care. It's all it is. That they feel like they've been endowed by God with some special knowledge to do this job. And maybe God did. And that they should be appreciated for it. So I'm going to do a TV ad with me on it. And sometimes, look, here's the truth. The ad agency will approach the state and go, if you had a nice digital ad, we could improve your numbers here. And Eric, why don't we put you in it? Do you think he's going to approve the idea?
Oh, of course.
They just did a vanity ad. They just said, if we put you in it, talking about how much you love the state, this could be very effective. I think that's a good idea. Put me in there. Because we need to spread the word about education. Back in a minute. All right, 253, Leland Live, Tuck 99.5, Distinctive Pools, ready to come dig a big hole in your yard, make it look good. Boy, that's Gary Levesque's been doing this for 4 decades. Pools are interesting. You either do them right or you don't. If you don't do them right, they can devalue your house. Because here's why: because some people in the housing market aren't interested in a pool, and so the ones that are, you got to make it look good, or they're just not going to look at your house. And the ones that aren't interested, if it's built right and it's an asset, suddenly they're interested. They'll find a house with a pool and go, "Wow, that's beautiful. Let's do that." So you got to build it right. It's got to look right, and so you can trust the design expertise and all the things involved in the distinctive pools process. Gary, again, with that 40 years of experience, both in pool building and hardscape construction, are the perfect, and that whole team he's put around him, they're the perfect folks to get the design right and then get it built right. And of course, they've even got finance companies that can help you get these projects financed. It all kind of works together. Man, you've got time to get that thing built before swimming season, even though it's warming up outside. It'd still be a little too cold to swim right now, but it'll be here before you know it. And they work quickly, and they'll build something beautiful for you. If you want it done right, look at their designs and some of their other projects at distinctivepools.com online, distinctivepools.com. Well, I did a little homework in the break about the ad with Eric Mackey in it. Apparently, the state gave a $3 million deal to Big Communications, and I think I've dealt with them in the past. I know they've done a lot of government work to do a teacher recruitment campaign, and all that's legit. And I'm sure they bid the contract for this company. This company also got cut off from, I think, Jefferson County at one point. They just go around and pitch these governments to do their PR and do their ad stuff. So I'm not alleging any corruption there, but I'm just saying the vanity projects need to end. They need to find a better way to communicate with the public. And it's not the first time we've seen this. The story I was going to tell you real quick before we get on down the road any further, and let me get Charles in here, is I remember it was one of my last few weeks on the air over at Fox 6 when I was just about to get out of the TV business. And Jim Folsom, there was a governor's race going on coming up or something like that. But Jim Folsom was the governor. And right before the election, he authorized some spending to put these big old huge color pictures of himself at the ABC stores. You know how they always look for an edge? I remember one of the agriculture secretaries, Department of Agriculture, bragging that he's got name ID because he gets his name on all the gas pumps where they do the inspection sticker.
Yes.
And he was joking. But these guys will find ways to get their name on the state spending. Like, I don't even like the damn signs driving into Alabama. And every state, most states do this, where it says, "Welcome to Alabama, Governor Kay Ivey."
Mm-hmm.
And then we get a scandal and we have to spend all that money to change the sign out. Of course, Kay's hung in there. She hadn't had scandals, not personal scandals. How much money we spend taking Dr. Bentley signs down? I mean, what I'm saying is that's just a waste. Who gives a damn who the governor is? When I drive into a state, I'm not thinking, man, who's the governor? If you want to do some good PR, pave that first mile after you cross the line.
Ooh,
just so when you make that transition, you don't hit a pothole and knock your eyes out.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, this state has nice roads.
Well, because as soon as you cross over into Georgia,
yeah,
right, you get to that rest stop. They've been doing construction on that road since 1972.
Around the I-20, you mean?
Yeah,
I-20?
right there on I-20. Yeah, I agree with you on that.
You want to do some PR? Just as soon as you hit the state, make it look so nice. We got crappy looking rest stops too. We got old sketchy, scary looking rest stops. You go to North Carolina, they got like rockers on the front porch when you pull up in there.
Yeah.
You're lucky to even have somebody working there at the rest stop. Some old lady going, here's a map. Use that in the bathroom for toilet paper. We're out of toilet paper. Charles, what's up, man? Charles over in Pell City.
Hey, not much. Hey, another thing, back during the last year, I noticed right before election time, you had all these political ads disguised as public service announcements, like the city of Gardendale. It's like, oh, we got all these great schools, and then it shows a picture of the mayor, and a mayor who's lived here his whole life, and a responsive city council, and then the camera pans across the city council, and then, and I'm like, it's blatantly a campaign ad disguised as a public service ad. that the taxpayers are paying for. Irondale, you have their mayor over there touting the luxury auto mall. And it's him, talking, and you don't see the city council, you don't see the chamber of commerce. It's just his honor, the mayor, and it's like this advertisement for the luxury auto mall, but he has to throw himself in there to be seen.
Yeah, that look.
And it's a campaign ad.
I think it depends if there's an election going on or how gratuitous it is. I give a little latitude to governors. I guess even mayors, because you are the face of a city. Like I know Mayor Hoagland.
Right.
He's a good dude. He helped us out years and years ago. Sometimes it's more gratuitous than others, and that's why I would have trouble drawing a line around this or a law, because sometimes it's just bald face wasted money, and sometimes it is promotion of your city. And how do we figure that out? I don't know.
Yeah. And another thing too, we need a law that says you can name no street, highway, bridge, or building after someone, especially a politician who is still alive.
I agree. Or have been out of office for a certain amount of time. Like Shelby shouldn't have been able to get his name put on these buildings while he was still in the Senate. I've always resented.
Well, and I think Hubbard, the felon down there from the State House, he's still got some stuff in Auburn named after him.
No, they took it all down. They used to have Mike Hubbard Boulevard over by the airport. I know Mike, and they took all that down. I was over there not too long ago to notice that.
There's a stretch of I-20 I about wrecked when I saw it was named after a former senator. And I'm
hey, Charles, we got to go to the top. Thanks, buddy. All right, back in a minute.